back to English from A to Z, and welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cutting through some of the noise, exploring an idea that gets tossed around a lot, often just like a slogan. But it actually holds, well, some truly profound power over pretty much every aspect of your life. What if everything you experience, your triumphs, your challenges, even your deepest desires, what if it all originates not from outside stuff or luck, but from this powerful, invisible force within you? Just imagine for a second. Imagine the real secret to changing your whole life wasn't luck or talent or even just grinding away with hard work. Imagine it was something more fundamental, your thoughts. So, this deep dive, we're going to unpack the truth behind that phrase, you become what you think. We want to move beyond the motivational poster, get into it as a practical, life shaping principle. We'll discover how your mind acts like this. A sophisticated architect, really, meticulously building the reality you actually live in.
Indeed. And our mission today is exactly that, a true deep dive, right into the heart of how these internal thought patterns you cultivate, how they relentlessly shape your external reality. We're drawing our insights from a pretty compelling source, the audiobook, You Become What You Think, The Secret to Transforming Your Life. It does a great job bridging, ancient wisdom with modern psychological understanding. Our aim, to give you actionable kind of nuanced knowledge, not just what this power is, but how you can actually harness it. Think of this maybe as your shortcut, a way to get really well informed about the underlying architecture of your own life, and crucially, how you can start to deliberately redesign it if you choose to.
Okay, let's unpack that, starting right at the foundation. This idea, thoughts as invisible blueprints. I mean, think about it. Every tangible structure, right? Skyscraper, a house, it doesn't start with bricks and mortar. It starts with a mental design, a blueprint. It's a vision, first in someone's head, then on paper. Without that initial design, well, nothing physical gets built. So, how literally should we take this analogy for our lives? Are we really designing everything, even when we're not consciously trying?
That's a crucial question. And the analogy, it's incredibly apt, actually. Our source really emphasizes that your thoughts are the invisible architecture of your life. They're not just these fleeting things. They're foundational designs. They shape every decision, every action, and ultimately every outcome you experience. Your external reality really is a direct reflection of your internal world. And to answer your question, yes, we're constantly designing, often completely unconsciously. Every choice, every reaction, every habit stems from a thought or a belief or maybe an assumption you hold. And many of these mental blueprints, they were drawn up ages ago by experiences, maybe other people's opinions, and they've just been running on autopilot ever since.
That's fascinating, the unconscious blueprint idea. It reminds me, I mean, every invention, right? Every scientific breakthrough, every piece of art, it all started as just a thought. The Wright brothers dreaming of flight, or the first sketches for the smartphone you might be holding right now. Sparks in someone's mind first. But it's not just those huge things, is it? Our personal successes, too. Getting that job you wanted, building a relationship, they also start with a thought. But then, if our thoughts are so powerful, why do we sometimes see the opposite? Why does self-doubt, these limiting beliefs, why do they seem to have so much sway?
That's where the double-edged nature of this power really comes in. It's not all positive creation. Just as positive thoughts can build negative ones, well, they can dismantle things or stop them from ever being built in the first place. Our source highlights that the seeds of failure are also planted in thought. Doubt, that brings hesitation. Fear whispers limitations, right? You can't do that.
Hmm.
And those really ingrained limiting beliefs, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve success, things like that, they act like invisible chains. When you don't challenge them, these thoughts often morph into self-fulfilling prophecies. They actively create the limitations they predict. It's usually not that we want to fail, but the underlying belief in failure kinds of sets the course. To expand on that a bit, try visualizing your mind as like really fertile soil, exceptionally rich, ready to grow whatever seeds land in it. It's an old analogy, but it works. If you consciously plant seeds of confidence, gratitude, maybe possibility, your harvest will be rich, growth, abundance, joy. However, if the seeds sown are fear, resentment, doubt, Well, the resulting harvest is inevitably going to be struggle, scarcity, regret.
This concept, our source reminds us, it's deep in ancient wisdom. Think Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So, a critical question for you listening right now. What color are your consistent thoughts imprinting on your soul today? Are they vibrant? Kind of. Gray.
Wow, that's a powerful image, the soul being dyed by thoughts.
Hmm.
And it really clicks when you look at the psychology side, too. You mentioned our source delves into the thought, emotion, action cycle. Can you walk us through that? How does it validate this ancient idea?
Absolutely. Modern psychology gives us some compelling validation through this cycle. Our thoughts are never just isolated events. They directly, often profoundly, influence our emotions. These emotions then become the main driver behind our actions, what we actually do. And our actions, inevitably, consistently, they dictate our results. They shape the reality we experience. It's a continuous loop, you see. For instance, thinking, I can achieve this, doesn't just sit there. It generates feelings, right? Motivation, hope, which then propels you into action. Conversely, the belief, I can't, well, that breeds feelings of defeat, maybe resignation, often leads to inaction or giving up before you even really start. So the cycle is always running, constantly reinforcing itself, either positively or negatively.
So, okay, our minds are these constant creation machines, running on blueprints, conscious or unconscious. Here's maybe a challenge then for you listening. Take a real moment, pause, and reflect. What's the very first thought that greets you in the morning, usually? Is it full of possibility? Or is it kind of shadowed by dread? Do you step into your day expecting progress? Or are you mentally sort of bracing for problems? Your mind is always creating. So the only real question is, what kind of story are you writing right now?
Exactly. And it's crucial then to recognize this immense power. It's often profoundly underestimated, the power of your thoughts. They aren't just background noise. They are the fundamental architects of your destiny, really. So to genuinely transform your life in any meaningful way, the essential first step is precisely this: transform what you think. And here's where we get to maybe an even deeper secret from the source. You don't just attract what you want. That's a common misunderstanding. Instead, you attract what you are. And what you are at your core, it's the sum total of your persistent, dominant thoughts. Your thoughts define your energy, your vibration, if you like. And that consistency is what shapes your reality.
So today, right now, the challenge is to become intensely aware. Examine that blueprint you've been carrying around. Are your main thoughts, your prevailing ones, are they building a prison,
Hmm.
keeping you small? Or are they actively designing this expansive palace of potential, limitless potential? Are they anchoring you to who you used to be? Or are they busy creating the magnificent person you're meant to become? That awareness, that's where the power starts.
Yes, recognizing the power is paramount. But it's just a start. The next critical phase, as our source makes really clear, is to actively dismantle any old limiting structures you've maybe unknowingly built. You've got to make way for the new foundation.
Right. Which brings us perfectly to our next section, dismantling the old structure, breaking the chains of negative thinking. Okay, many of us have that voice, right? That persistent inner critic. I wonder, have you ever caught yourself thinking things like, I'm not good enough, or what's the point? Things
Yeah.
you would absolutely never say to someone you love. I mean, if someone else talked to you that way, you probably walk away. So why do we just accept these internal attacks as truth? What's going on there?
That's the insidious trap, isn't it? It's so sneaky. Our source points out that negative thinking often disguises itself as just reality, unvarnished reality. It usually doesn't shout, it whispers. It repeats messages so often, so subtly, that we just stop questioning them. It starts to feel like an objective assessment, not some self-imposed limit. But the crucial truth to grasp is this: negative thinking isn't who you are, it's just a habit, a learned pattern, a neural pathway you've strengthened over time. And like any habit, no matter how deep it runs, it can be broken. And importantly, it can be replaced. Imagine maybe walking through life with this ridiculously heavy backpack, full of stones. Every step feels harder than it should. Now, imagine someone tells you that backpack isn't even real. It's just something you've convinced yourself you have to carry. That analogy really shows the impact of negative thinking. It just weighs down your journey unnecessarily. Limiting beliefs like I'm too old or I'm not smart enough, they function like these invisible chains. They hold you back relentlessly, even though the key to unlock them, it's always been right there within your grasp. Often these beliefs come from our past, yeah. Critical words, mistakes we made, perceived failures. But our source really emphasizes a past failure doesn't dictate your future, unless, of course, you consciously give that power.
That makes so much sense, and it feels incredibly real when you're in it. You mentioned our source talks about something from neurobiology, the brain's negativity bias. Can you explain that? How does it feed into this?
Absolutely. Science shows us this fundamental thing about our brains, the negativity bias. It's not a flaw, actually. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism. Honed over millennia, it helped our ancestors quickly spot dangers, predators, poisonous plants, that sort of thing. Now, in our modern world, that same bias makes us focus disproportionately on potential problems rather than possibilities. It explains why maybe you remember that one criticism all day, even if you got 10 compliments.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely true.
Right? Your mind replays mistakes on loop, but often glosses over your wins. Parts of our brain, like the amygdala, are just highly tuned to threats and negative stuff. So the bias is real. It's inherent. But the empowering part, just being aware of it gives you leverage. You can consciously choose to override its default settings. Recognize when it's just old survival programming kicking in unnecessarily.
Okay, so awareness first. Recognizing that bias, recognizing the critic. How do we actually start challenging it then once we spot it? Well, the first and maybe most potent step is that awareness. Developing acute awareness. Start actively noticing the specific voice, the messages in your head. Don't just let them run unchecked. When that inner voice says, you can't, challenge it immediately. Ask, says who? Really question it. When it whispers, you always fail, counter it. Remind yourself consciously, that's not true. I've succeeded before. I have proof. Our source suggests treating your thoughts like witnesses in a courtroom. Not every thought deserves your automatic belief. Some are unreliable, some are just plain wrong. Your job is to cross-examine them. Question their validity before letting them influence you.
And a really effective method for breaking free is reframing, the art of reframing. Instead of letting yourself say, I failed, consciously choose to reframe it. I learned. See the shift? It instantly turns an endpoint into a valuable data point.
I like that. I learned.
Yeah. Or when you face something tough, instead of this is too hard, shift your perspective. This is a challenge, and challenges help me grow. This isn't about pretending or denying reality. It's about deliberately choosing a perspective that empowers you to move forward instead of one that just keeps you stuck in limitation. It's active cognitive restructuring, choosing a more helpful interpretation.
That makes perfect sense. It's like our brain doesn't really erase habits, right? It replaces them. So if we want to stop feeding the negative thoughts, we have to proactively start feeding positive ones, like tuning a radio, you said. If you don't like the station, you don't smash the radio. You just turn the dial. Find music that lifts you up.
Exactly. Our brain operates on this principle of replacement, thanks to neuroplasticity. That's its ability to reorganize, form new connections. You can't just delete old pathways easily. You have to build stronger, alternative ones. Tools like affirmations, gratitude practices, visualization, they're powerful ways to plant these new life-affirming seeds. They are the consistent signals telling your brain, hey, this is the new pathway we're building now. Pay attention to this. And remember, at any given moment, you have far more power than you probably realize. You might not control every external event, no, but you absolutely retain control over how you choose to interpret those events. That interpretation, that's your sovereign territory. You might not pick every circumstance, but your choice of perspective, your lens, that's always yours. And that perspective will either bind you with chains or it will set you free to soar.
Okay, so pause and reflect again. What specific negative thoughts, what self-limiting stories have you allowed to shackle your life? What outdated beliefs are you still carrying around that just don't serve you anymore? And Maybe most importantly, are you truly willing right now to consciously decide to lay those burdens down?
This step, breaking free from those chains, it's fundamental. It really is about clearing the ground, making space. But the next vital phase isn't just about release. It's about the deliberate, conscious construction of a strong new mental foundation.
And that leads us perfectly into section 3, building a new operating system, reprogramming your mind for success. Okay, here's a really liberating idea our source emphasizes. Your mind isn't fixed. It's not set in stone. It works more like a sophisticated computer. It can be programmed, updated, even totally transformed. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's grounded in neuroscience, right? Neuroplasticity. But what's the core mechanism? How does this reprogramming actually work deep down?
That's a great question, and it's absolutely central to the insights from You Become What You Think.
Hmm.
Neuroplasticity is the key. The brain's amazing ability to reorganize itself, form new neural pathways based on new experiences, repeated thoughts. It literally means your brain structure can change. And to really get this, we need to understand the subconscious mind first. Picture an iceberg, right? Floating in the ocean. The small bit you see above the water. That's your conscious mind, your daily thoughts, decisions. But beneath the surface, that huge hidden mass, that's your subconscious. This incredibly powerful part of you silently orchestrates your habits, governs emotions, drives instincts, dictates automatic reactions. Our source points to estimates. Something like 95% of your daily behavior is driven by subconscious programming.
95%. Wow.
Yeah. Think about breathing, walking, driving a familiar route, even your instant emotional reactions. It's huge. This means you're not always consciously steering the ship. Often, it's your underlying programming at the helm, setting the course. And here's the critical bit. Your subconscious operates without judgment, totally impartial. It doesn't decide if a belief is good or bad, true or false. It just accepts whatever gets repeated to it often enough, especially with emotional weight. So if you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough, your subconscious believes it, unequivocally, and starts shaping your life to match. Conversely, if you consistently affirm, I can learn, grow, succeed, your subconscious absorbs that truth and aligns your actions to make it real. The big question then is, what beliefs have you been feeding your subconscious? Maybe without even realizing it.
That distinction, that accepts without judgment, that's a game changer, seriously. It really drives home the power of repetition you mentioned, like learning to tie your shoes. Intense focus at first, but repeat it enough and bam, it's automatic. You don't even think about it. So it's not just doing something repeatedly, it's that the repetition literally rewires our brain, creates those new pathways. Our source stresses this. A thought repeated consistently enough eventually becomes a belief, solidifies. A belief acted upon consistently. That becomes a habit, and a habit maintained over time. That ultimately molds your identity, who you see yourself as. So to effectively reprogram your mind for success, you have to intentionally, consistently repeat the thoughts you want until your subconscious fully accepts them. It's like a daily workout for your brain, actively reshaping your mental landscape.
Absolutely. And our source outlines some powerful tools for this reprogramming. First up, affirmations. These are concise, potent statements designed to align your conscious and subconscious minds with your goals. So instead of the default, I'll never succeed, you consciously affirm, I am capable of success. Instead of I'm not confident, you declare, I carry confidence in every step I take. Now, your conscious mind might resist at first, right? Feel a bit fake.
Yeah, that happens.
But through consistent repetition, feeling the emotion behind it, your subconscious gradually adopts these as truths. It's about consistency and feeling. Next, there's the amazing power of visualization, the human mind. It has this extraordinary quirk. It often struggles to tell the difference between vivid imagination and actual reality.
Right, like we talked about with athletes.
Exactly. They mentally rehearse peak performance.
Mm-hmm.
When you vividly imagine your success, really see it, Feel the emotions, experience it in your mind's eye as if it's already happened. Your brain starts forging neural pathways as though it has happened. The more real, the more sensory detail, the more emotion you put into it, the more possible it becomes in your actual life.
Yeah.
And finally, environment design. This one's often overlooked. Think about it. You can't grow a beautiful rose garden in toxic soil, right?
Makes sense.
Similarly, you can't easily nurture empowering thoughts in a constantly negative or unsupportive environment. Reprogramming your mind involves carefully curating your surroundings. Positivity. Immerse yourself in inspiring books. Seek out people who uplift you. Be in places that energize your spirit. Your environment is like this background operating system, constantly feeding data and beliefs to your subconscious. So choose its components wisely.
Okay, but I think we all know that feeling. When you try to make these changes, there's resistance. That old programming doesn't just vanish. That inner voice might chime in. This isn't really you. This feels fake. It's trying to pull you back to what's familiar. Yeah, but our source reminds us those are just echoes of the old code. They're fighting for survival. Persistence is the key, your ultimate key. If you steadfastly keep repeating and reinforcing the new, empowering thoughts, the old limiting ones will gradually diminish. They'll fade. Think of them like weeds in a garden. If you stop watering them, stop giving them attention, they eventually wither away. You're starving the old, feeding the new.
And it's so important to understand this isn't a one-off fix. Reprogramming isn't a quick hack. It's a conscious, ongoing lifestyle commitment. Our source recommends weaving these simple, powerful practices into your daily routine. First, a morning focus. Before you grab your phone, before the world rushes in, dedicate 5 intentional minutes. Affirm who you want to be. Visualize the life you want to create. Set that powerful intention for the day. Second, daily gratitude. Every night, before sleep, consciously list 3 distinct things you're genuinely grateful for. This consistent practice rewires your brain to notice abundance, to see the good instead of just focusing on lack.
Simple but effective.
Very. And third, commit to positive input. Make a deliberate choice. Read, listen to, or watch something uplifting, constructive, inspiring every single day. Just like eating junk food weakens your body, feeding your mind junk thoughts, constant negativity, outrage news, toxic social media, it weakens your mental strength.
So try imagining 2 versions of yourself. There's the old self, shaped by doubt, fear, limitations. And then there's the new self, actively programmed with courage, clear vision, unstoppable belief in your capabilities. The gap between them. It's not decided by fate or luck. It's bridged solely by your conscious willingness to reprogram your mind, to choose a new narrative, the life you really want. It already exists as potential. The bridge connecting where you are now to that future self. It's built meticulously, brick by brick, right inside your thoughts. If you can see it vividly in your mind, really feel it, you have the power to hold it in your hands eventually, to live it.
So let me ask you this profound question right now. What new code are you choosing to write today? What new story do you want your subconscious mind to believe about you, about what's possible? The truth is simple but so powerful. Your mind will follow the program you feed it consistently. And the program you choose with intention, that will inevitably create the life you experience. It's not magic. It's the mechanics of your mind.
And this leads us perfectly to section 4. The steering wheel of life, how focus determines your future. I love the analogy our source uses here, the magnifying glass. Hold it under the sun, you get diffused light. Nothing much happens. But hold it steady, focus all those rays onto one single point, and boom, you get fire. That just perfectly shows the power of focus, doesn't it? But what's happening in our brains when we focus versus when we're scattered?
It's a great analogy. Scattered thoughts. They just create distraction, dissipate your energy, leave you feeling overwhelmed. But intensely focused thoughts, they generate immense power. Power to burn through obstacles, dissolve confusion, make things happen. Our source emphasizes your future isn't passive. It depends critically on what you consciously choose to focus on. In the brain, intense focus activates parts of the prefrontal cortex, your executive function center. Planning, decision-making, Scattered attention often lights up the default mode network associated with mind-wandering self-rumination. It's literally a different brain state. And here's a fundamental truth many people miss. Whatever you consistently give your attention to grows stronger in your life, becomes more prominent. Focus is like water for a plant. It nourishes whatever you feed. So if your focus is always on problems, you'll perceive more problems, encounter more problems. Your brain's filtering system, the reticular activating system, or RAS, highlights what matches your focus.
Ah, the RAS.
Exactly. So focus on problems, you see problems. But if you deliberately focus on opportunities, your RAS starts showing you doors opening, possibilities you didn't see before. Focus on fear, you shrink back. Focus on faith, on your capability. You get the drive to move forward. And this doesn't mean challenges disappear magically. Of course not. But your perception of them changes fundamentally. And perception dictates how you respond, which shapes your life's direction.
That explains so much. Why some people seem to find opportunities everywhere, while others just see roadblocks. It's like their focus creates different realities. So, why do most people stay stuck then, given this power? I have a feeling the modern world plays a big part. You're absolutely right. The way our modern world is designed, it's almost engineered to steal your focus. Constant notifications buzzing, sensational news screaming for engagement, ads relentlessly competing for your attention, your cognitive energy. We're swimming in an age of distraction. Your focused attention, that's the most valuable currency now. Everyone wants it. The problem is, when you let external stuff control your focus, your energy gets scattered. Severely. You try to do a million things at once, multitasking, which we know isn't really effective, and you end up doing nothing truly meaningful. That's why so many people feel busy, but utterly unfulfilled.
Right.
Running hard, but going nowhere. Clarity of focus. That's the difference between just movement and actual progress. Running in circles burns energy, but gets you nowhere. Moving in a straight line, guided by a clear vision, that gets you to your destination.
And that clear vision is absolutely key. Let me ask you listening right now directly. Could you, if prompted, articulate with crystal clarity what you want your life to look like in, say, 5 years? The specifics. For many, honestly, the answer is probably no, or it's vague. I want to be happy. I want more money.
Yeah, vague goals.
Exactly. And our source confirms this universal principle. Vague goals produce vague results. Always. You can't hit a target. You can't even see clearly. Real success, the kind that transforms things, it demands clarity, unequivocal clarity. A sharp vision acts like a compass, an infallible one. It shows you where to go, what pitfalls to avoid, how to make those aligned choices along the way. Without that clear vision, you just drift. Like a ship without a map or rudder, tossed around by every wave.
So, to cultivate this power, you need to dedicate time, intentional, quiet time, to define your vision meticulously. Write it down, make it specific, detailed, engage your senses, see it, feel it. The clearer the vision, the sharper the focus. The sharper the focus, the faster you move towards making it real. That's a powerful reminder. It's not enough to just want it. You need to see it clearly. And the flip side of sharpening focus, that's eliminating distractions. I remember thinking I was too busy for a personal project last year. Then I actually tracked my time, realized how much was lost to mindless scrolling. It's like every distraction we allow is another brick in that heavy backpack you mentioned earlier, isn't it? Weighing us down. Yeah, our source suggests that to really concentrate your focus on your future, on what you're building, you have to get disciplined about releasing what doesn't serve you. That means setting firm boundaries with your precious time, your energy, even your relationships sometimes. It means consciously practicing saying no to lots of good things so you have the space, the bandwidth to say a clear yes to the truly great things, the things aligned with your vision. Remember, focus isn't just what you pay attention to. It's equally, maybe even more, about what you purposefully ignore.
And herein lies the challenge for many. Sustaining focus demands discipline. It really does. Your mind will wander. That's its nature. Your emotions will tempt you to quit, to seek comfort. But here's the crucial truth. Every single time you consciously bring your focus back to your vision, every time you gently redirect your attention, you are actively strengthening that mental muscle. You're training your prefrontal cortex, building executive function. It's just like training at the gym. Exactly analogous. At first, focusing feels weak, maybe hard, easily disrupted, but with consistent repetition daily, dedicated practice, that mental muscle gets stronger, more resilient. Soon, what felt like a huge struggle becomes more natural, almost effortless. So integrate those daily rituals our source suggests. 5 minutes of visualization each morning, writing down your top 3 priorities, ditching the multitasking myth, focus fully on one thing at a time. These small, consistent disciplines, over time they compound into massive transformative results, building unstoppable momentum.
And here's where it gets really deep. The things you repeatedly focus on, they don't just influence your actions, they fundamentally shape who you are. If you consistently focus on making excuses, finding reasons why not, you gradually become someone who avoids responsibility. If your focus is on constant growth, learning, you evolve into someone who embraces change, adapts. If you concentrate on serving others, making an impact, you transform into someone who genuinely makes a difference. Your very identity, who you believe yourself to be, is meticulously shaped by where you put your sustained focus. And the identity you'll have in the future, the person you become, that's being determined right now by what you choose to concentrate on today. It's a daily act of self-creation, choosing who you are moment by moment with your attention.
It really all boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful truth. Energy flows where focus goes. It's like a law of physics for the mind. If you truly desire to change your life's trajectory, you must fundamentally change what you consistently focus on. Stop watering the weeds. Stop giving energy to doubt, fear, distraction. Instead, vigorously start watering the seeds, the potent seeds of your most cherished dreams and aspirations. Nurture what you want to grow. Ask yourself right now, in this moment of reflection, what am I actively focusing on? Is this focus moving me forward, giving me energy? Or is it holding me captive somehow, keeping me stuck? Am I mostly thinking about problems, analyzing what's wrong? Or am I actively seeking solutions, looking for opportunities? Am I letting the world's noise distract me? Or am I tuned in to my own clear inner vision, my purpose? Your focus is the steering wheel of your life, no question. Point it decisively toward where you want to go, towards that vision, and then courageously step on the gas. Stay steady, stay clear, stay disciplined, and then just watch. Watch how your future starts to meticulously align with the vision you hold inside.
The truth really is simple. What you focus on, you create. Okay, so we've covered a lot. Thoughts as blueprints, breaking negative patterns, reprogramming the mind, harnessing focus. But there's often this missing piece, right? People can have the clearest vision, the sharpest focus, and still feel like they're spinning their wheels. What's the connection between all this powerful thinking and actually getting results in the real world? This brings us to section 5. Bridging the gap, aligning thoughts with action. Because, let's face it, no matter how potent or inspiring your thoughts are, thinking alone is never enough. Never. A dream, however magnificent, without action. It's like that beautiful car with no fuel we talked about. Looks great, goes nowhere. To truly transform your life, your thoughts have to move beyond imagination. They have to flow consistently into concrete, sustained action. That's the bridge.
That's absolutely the critical missing link. Imagine standing on one side of a wide river. That's your current life. Across the water, you clearly see the life you dream of. Your goals realized, the freedom, the success. What connects those two sides? It's the bridge of action. Unequivocally. Our source really hammers this home. Without building and crossing that bridge, you stay stuck where you are, no matter how hard you think, hope, or visualize. Thoughts provide the direction, yeah. They're the compass. But it's only consistent, purposeful actions that create actual forward movement, that generate momentum, this deliberate alignment, thoughts with actions. That's the force that makes transformation not just possible, but inevitable. It's where the inner work meets the outer world. That feedback loop. Action reinforces belief. Belief fuels more action.
And I think we've all met someone, maybe we've even been that person, who talks constantly about what they're going to do. Write the book, start the business, get fit. Yet year after year, nothing really changes. They're essentially living entirely in their heads. The thoughts are powerful, sure, but without action, just untapped potential. But then again, taking action without clear thought, that's like running frantically in circles. Lots of effort, maybe burnout, but no real progress. The real secret, our source suggests, is finding that balance, maintaining it. Thoughts ignite inspiration, then actions bring them decisively to life. It's a dance.
And here's where people often get overwhelmed. They stumble. They mistakenly think action has to mean these huge, monumental leaps every day. There's this myth that transformation needs instant, massive, exhausting effort right from the start.
Yeah, that feels daunting.
Exactly. But it's a profound misconception,
Hmm.
a mental trap. Genuine, lasting success isn't built in giant leaps. It's built meticulously, piece by piece, on the cumulative effect of small, consistent daily wins. Think about a dripping faucet. Just a simple, relentless drip. One drop. Seems insignificant, right? Meaningless. Yet over time, drip, by painstaking drip, you can fill a whole bucket or even erode solid stone. Your actions work exactly the same way. One healthy meal, one focused hour of work, one single step toward your dream. Individually, they might seem tiny, minor, but weave them together consistently, day after day. They create this unstoppable, compounding momentum. That's truly transformative.
That compound effect idea is so crucial, not just in finance, but in everything. Reading just 10 pages a day doesn't feel like much. But over a year, that's 3,500 pages, a dozen books worth of knowledge. Walking 20 minutes daily seems small, but that's over 120 hours of movement in a year, enough to seriously change your health. So our source says your thoughts need to align with these daily disciplines. Every single action you take, no matter how small it seems, is like casting a vote for the person you're striving to become, for the future you're creating. Are your daily votes pushing you towards growth or keeping you stuck in stagnation?
But let's be real for a second. Taking consistent action. It's rarely easy all the time. Let's not pretend it is. There'll be days your motivation just vanishes. Days when fear whispers loud, "What if you fail?" tries to hold you back. Days when procrastination tempts you with the comfort of doing nothing or doing something easy.
Oh, yeah, definitely know those days.
We all do.
And this is precisely where your consciously cultivated, empowering thoughts become your strongest allies. When your mind is programmed for success, when it believes you can do it, it fuels your discipline. Even when motivation is gone, you learn to act not just when you feel like it, but from a place of clarity and commitment. Motivation might be the spark, the initial push, but it's sustained discipline, born from intentional thought, that keeps you moving forward consistently.
Okay, so how do we actually do it? Consistently align thoughts with actions. Our source gives us a kind of roadmap, a process. First, clarity of vision. Know exactly what you want. With precision, write it down vividly. See it, feel it, experience it in your mind. Without that clear target, your actions are scattered, ineffective. With it, every action gains purpose. Second, break it down. Turn those big dreams into small, manageable steps, actionable steps. Want to write a book? Don't stare at the blank manuscript. Commit to 1 page a day. That's it. Want to run a marathon? Start with 1 mile, maybe even less. Small steps build to huge victories. Third, consistency over intensity. This is huge. The key isn't doing everything at once, burning out. It's committing to doing something meaningful every single day. Consistency beats sporadic intensity every time because it builds momentum. Fourth, accountability. Find someone you trust. Share your goals, a mentor, a friend, a coach. That external accountability, it dramatically boosts internal commitment. Knowing someone's watching, supporting, it makes you want to follow through. And finally, celebrate progress. Acknowledge every step forward, no matter how small. Recognize your wins. Give yourself credit. Celebration is fuel. It reinforces the positive cycle, motivates more action.
And remember, your true identity, it's not just what you think, it's not just what you do, it's profoundly defined by the powerful alignment of both. Your inner world of thought, your outer world of action, in sync. When your thoughts declare, "I am healthy," and your actions exercise, good food consistently mirror that. Your identity transforms. You become healthy. When thoughts affirm, "I am successful," and actions reflect discipline, effort, strategy, Success stops being just a possibility, becomes inevitable. This alignment creates integrity within you, makes you whole. Your inner and outer worlds stop fighting each other. They harmonize, work together powerfully.
Maybe the most exciting part of aligning thoughts and actions is that momentum it creates. Once you really start, once you take that first aligned step, it gets easier, almost self-perpetuating. Each action reinforces the belief, hey, I did that. And that stronger belief fuels more action. Soon, what felt impossible starts to feel, well, natural, effortless even, part of who you are. Like that snowball rolling down a hill, right? Starts small, slow, but with every turn it gathers more snow, more weight, builds more speed, until it's this unstoppable force. That's the power generated by consistently aligned thought and action. So, right now, in this moment, ask yourself, what's one single small action I can take today? An action that's perfectly aligned with the person I want to become, with the life I'm building. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel 100% ready or motivated. That perfect time, it's a myth. It never truly arrives. The time to begin is always, unequivocally, now. Take that step.
Remember this fundamental truth. Your thoughts create the direction. They provide the map. But your consistent actions create your destiny. They chart the actual course. Align them both. Integrate inner and outer. And there's genuinely nothing you cannot achieve. At the end of the day, lasting success isn't just about what you dream. It's fundamentally about what you do with those dreams, how you bring them to life.
And that brings us to our final section, the life you create, becoming who you think you are. It's quite something to pause, isn't it? And just observe your life. Right now, every part of it, your work, relationships, health, the goals you've hit, the ones maybe still waiting, all these things share one common root. They started in some form as a thought in your mind. Every victory, every setback, every moment of joy, every season of struggle, all of it has been filtered through, shaped by, influenced by the thoughts you've consistently held. Now that realization, it's not meant to be overwhelming, not at all. Its purpose is to empower you deeply. Because if your past thoughts created your present reality, then logically your present thoughts are right now, this very moment, building your future reality. And that insight means the life you truly want isn't some far-off dream. It's a choice, a powerful choice you can start making right now with your very next thought.
And at the absolute heart of this transformation process, it's your identity. Your identity essentially is the story you tell yourself about who you are. Consistently. If you keep telling yourself, I am not enough, well, you'll inevitably live a smaller, constrained life, limited by that story. But if you steadfastly affirm, I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy, you will courageously live a bolder, more expansive life, one that rises to meet that self-perception. Here's the ultimate liberating truth from our source. You don't just become what you want. You become, with absolute certainty, what you believe you are. And what is belief? It's nothing more than a thought you've practiced, a thought you've accepted as truth, deeply ingrained. So the critical question for you to really sit with is, who do I, deep down, believe myself to be right now? And maybe even more importantly, who do I, with unwavering intention, choose to become? Starting today. That's the core of self-creation.
History is just full of stories of people who radically changed their lives by changing their thoughts, rewriting their internal script. Think about Oprah Winfrey. Came from intense poverty, hardship, yet she made a conscious choice, an unwavering choice to believe she was destined for something more. Those empowering thoughts, they became her compass, guided her actions, her decisions, until she became one of the most influential people globally. Or Nelson Mandela, endured 27 years in prison, unimaginable injustice, yet he consciously chose thoughts of forgiveness, of unity over bitterness and resentment. His mind was free long before his body was. And that mental freedom, it shaped the destiny of a nation. The common thread here isn't that they were born extraordinary. They became extraordinary because they mastered this secret. They became what they thought. And if they could, by applying these principles, so can you.
Once you truly grasp this power, internalize it, the power within your thoughts, your whole life takes on a new dimension, a richer meaning. You stop just drifting through life reacting. You stop living by accident or chance. Instead, you begin to live with deliberate purpose, unwavering purpose, taking conscious control. Your thoughts are no longer just random noise. They become intentional designs, carefully cultivated for a reason. Your actions stop being just reactions. They become precisely aligned with your deepest values, your highest aspirations. Your focus is no longer scattered. It becomes laser sharp, crystal clear, cutting through the clutter. This is what transforming your life truly means. It's not just changing what you do. It's a profound intrinsic change in who you are at the level of thought, belief, identity.
And here's something even more inspiring, I think. When you transform your own thoughts, elevate your own internal state, you don't just change your life. You inevitably influence and uplift everyone around you. It's that ripple effect. Your positive energy becomes contagious. Your courage inspires others watching you. Your success shows others what's possible for them too. You essentially become a guiding light, a beacon of possibility in a world that often feels dark or confusing. Never, ever underestimate that ripple effect. Your personal transformation matters beyond just you. You're not just becoming who you think you are, you're showing others who they can become too, by your example.
So now, as we bring this deep dive to a close, we leave you with the single most important, most empowering truth of all. Straight from our source. You hold the ultimate power, not the outside world, not your past, not even your current circumstances. The power resides irrevocably within you. It's been there all along, waiting. Your thoughts are your paintbrush. Your life is the canvas. And every single day offers a fresh opportunity for a new stroke, a new color, a new design. The profound question remains, what masterpiece, born from intentional thought and courageous action, will you choose to create? The canvas awaits your brush. We've covered a lot today. The architecture of your mind, thoughts as blueprints, dismantling negative thinking, reprogramming your subconscious, harnessing focus, bridging thought and action. Now, the invitation is clear. Don't just listen to these ideas. Don't just nod along. Actively live them. Put them into practice. This isn't just theory. It's a practical application. Start today. Use one empowering thought. Just one. Carry it with you constantly. Repeat it. Believe it. Act from it. Focus daily with real intention on what you want to create, not on what you fear or lack. Shift that focus deliberately. And, crucially, take one aligned action every single day, no matter how small it seems. Just one step. Commit to that consistency, that daily practice, and you will see your life begin to shift. Gradually at first, yes, but then it gains momentum, unstoppable momentum, until one day you might look back and scarcely recognize the person you used to be.
Remember, the profound truth we've explored today is you become what you think. And by making deliberate choices about your thoughts, you are right now making deliberate choices about your entire future. So go forward boldly. Think with precision, with intention. Act with unwavering courage. Live your life with purpose. And never, ever forget the secret to transforming your life. It's already inside you, dwelling patiently, waiting for you to unlock it. It's in your mind, in your hands. What new story will you begin to write today? Thank you so much for joining us on this incredibly insightful deep dive. We truly hope this exploration has sparked something in you, equipped you with a clearer vision, and maybe some practical tools for your future. Until next time, keep diving deep.